Hey, what's up? It's not newbie. Back again with yet another stream. Hold on, give me a second here. I completely forgot. I need to send the link over into the Discord. By the way, if you're not a member of the Discord yet, you totally should go ahead and join it. The Discord's pretty fire. Link is dscrd.ntnwb.cc. And yeah, we've got a whole community. We've got stuff going on. We have like watch parties. I'm trying to rewatch Succession. We talk about the news, politics, music, memes, all types of things. Hold on, let me pull this up here. Man, hold on, let me type in this message into the Discord. Letting everyone know that I am live. We have some, unfortunately, incredibly somber news to go over today. Some horrible news coming out of Tennessee. Yeah, I hate covering these things, but
in the chat.
you know,
Newsbeat.
these things do happen, so we gotta talk about it. Shoot, I missed that message. Mr. Pizza Newsbeat. Oh, nice. Hey, I thought you'd said something like, I don't know. That was not just Newsbeat. My goodness, I'm checking the Discord here. I'm seeing the messages. Langso said, "Hey Newbie, I was wondering if I could hop into the bread line today while you stream. You say you wanted me to be on streams more often.
Again after a couple months.
Let's see. We'll have to see how time works. Because I mean, there are a bunch of things I'm trying to get to. I'm probably gonna be doing like a lot of stuff about that shooting to front end the stream. Then later on, I'm gonna be doing some reactions. I'm gonna be reacting to basically 40 minutes worth of Ben Shapiro playing Minecraft. So we'll have to see, because I also want to cover the huge drama coming out of the Car 3 at SMP, and I'm not even up to speed on it. I'm like 4 or 5 days behind because I was forced to be behind because of homework. Mr. Pizza, you put the diss track in the Discord, right?
Be covering my latest video today or another stream.
I think I saw that you did say that you put the diss track in the Discord. Also, Mr. Pizza, yes, I'll be reacting to your video probably once I finish talking about the shooting situation. Let me dig a little bit deeper into this. Lenexo said, "Hey newbie, I have some news about Daniel Lord. Didn't want to talk about today if you can." What? Okay. Wow. I certainly might try and slot that into the stream today. That's not what I expected to hear. Bro, I thought the dude was laying low. I didn't know he was still on his grind or whatever. But I don't pay attention to the dude, and it's fine. Oh my goodness, so many things to react to today, so many things to cover. The news is absolutely crazy. I am most certainly not stalling because I don't want to talk about this. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull this up right here. Yeah, this time, usually I put everything that I'm going to react to in a Google Doc, but I figured just for the sake of transparency, why not just go ahead and throw everything up on throw everything up in the Discord. I feel like it can hype up anticipation for the streams.
Mr. Pizza.
To some extent, because what I'm going to be reacting to.
Oh yeah, I got some Daniel Lord news. Newbie Daniel is editing for me again. Yeah, that's the news from me. Don't cancel me.
Did he?
Lennoxo said in the chat.
Daniel.
Newsbee. GLXSKY said in the chat. Sad news, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Rip all to everyone involved.
The news is absolutely horrific. And the tough thing about this is, unfortunately, and I'm gonna get to this later, but the response I feel like from a lot of people has just been. Well, I'm gonna cover it once I actually start the coverage. I just need a minute. But there's just, I feel like a lot of what's been going on has just exposed how heartless a lot of people are. But anyways, let's see here.
Fox team coverage now. Trey Gowdy.
All right. You know, I hate covering these things. I hate talking about this, but these things happen in America sometimes. So we have to talk about them. We have to cover these. I cover news on my channels. So this is just a part of the news, unfortunately. I hate the fact that these things still happen, but they do. There was a shooting a day or two ago. Happened over in Nashville, and I don't want to platform this person's name, but it's in the article, which I am going to be reading. So shooter in Nashville went to a school, shot up about 6 kids and students. The whole situation is awful. The individual who did the shooting is a trans man, right? So female to male, who went in and targeted this Christian school. Christian school. And from what I've heard, she actually used to be a student there, which makes, a whole lot of things rather interesting about this, unfortunately. So, for example, there was a scandal with some sort of, sexual impropriety there where someone was messing with kids, kind of got covered up, kind of, sort of, and she was actually a student there at the time that everything went down, unfortunately. So we don't really know 100% the cause of what's been going on. But in any case, this is a very, very tragic situation where we have 6 people who have died as a result of this incident. And I'm just going to be reading here some of the details provided here by Fox News. The shooter bought 7 guns from 5 stores behind the family's back, including 3 that were used in the shooting. Those 3 guns had all sorts of stickers and things on them. Let me dig a little bit down here. One thing that was very interesting is that the parents didn't know that she owned these guns. They knew that at one point she had owned 1 gun, but they thought that at some point she had gotten rid of it and didn't have any other guns on hand. She was also an artist. I think she was doing freelance work for some folks, designing logos and illustrations for businesses and authors and things like that. And we've seen 3, so 6 people died. 3 people, 3 of them were kids, ages like 8 and 9, and 3 of them were adults aged about 61 and 60 years old. The whole situation is horrific. Now, for what we know regarding the motive, we don't know the motive yet. The police did say that she wrote a manifesto explaining exactly why she did what she did. So I expect that to come out, and then we'll learn a little bit more. There's been some speculation, because she was a student at this school while there were some, sexual assault or sexual improprieties going on. So some have wondered if she came back there and targeted this school because of what happened. Others are saying that maybe she was, because she was transgender and because there have been some sort of, some would call anti-trans bills signed into law in Tennessee, that she sort of went there as an act of revenge. But there's still a lot that we don't know. I mean, we do know that she had targeted at least one other school, but then decided not to go there because it was pretty well protected. They had apparently armed guards or security or some sort of deterrent that just made her think that it wouldn't be worth it to try and go and attack this school. So that's pretty much all that we know about the situation so far. And I think it's been really unfortunate because, this should be a time when people are getting together and they're saying, this is terrible. These sorts of things should not be happening. Violence is never the answer, no matter what your grievance is. And also just finding ways to sort of, get alongside of folks who might feel grieved in whatever way this individual felt grieved. But, doing so in a way that's loving, but still being like, hey, why don't we talk about what you're so upset about rather than just like, taking things straight to violence. But some folks' responses to the shooting just have not been good. And honestly, they've been very very, very, very disappointing. As we see here, even our president in chief kind of had a very disheartening response. Very, very disheartening response to the whole situation right here. He decided to talk about ice cream before checking out some underage kids, during a speech.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. I think I'm kidding. I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House.
I guess they cut out the part where he was checking out the kids and telling them to stand up because they look nice or something. I don't know. But the weird thing, too, about that whole situation is, it is Joe Biden. And, we do expect him to make gaffes because that's one thing that he's really, he's extremely well known for is kind of saying, inappropriate things at inappropriate times, making mistakes, slipping up. And it's not, out of malice. I'm quite sure he's kind of getting on age. But while that was expected, what I didn't expect was the response of a lot of American citizens. So, we had the individuals there who were in the crowd just laughing, readily laughing at things that weren't even that funny. Now, maybe in their defense, it's possible that they didn't know what had happened because this was as the news had broken. And not everyone's on their phone 24/7 checking the news. So maybe they were just in good spirits, not knowing what had happened to Tennessee. But they're not the only ones who have been having some rather questionable responses to the mass shooting. And Libs of TikTok has been documenting some of these responses. I'm only going to show two of them. Here we have one that essentially is saying that these kids deserved what happened, or at least the parents brought it on them. It's terrible stuff. But here's what this person has to say.
I wonder if the parents of the victims of the Nashville shooting today would still have their children if these trans bills in Tennessee were never a thing. I'm not a parent, but if I were, I'd be real mad at the government. I'd be real mad at the government.
Which is a terrible thing to say. It's absolutely horrible to insinuate that, it's the parents' fault or it's the voters' fault for voting in these bills because, no matter what's going on politically, there's not an excuse to just go about killing innocent people. I don't know who in their right mind would think that shooting 8 and 9-year-old kids and 60 and 61-year-old teachers is an appropriate response to laws getting passed that you don't like. It's terrible stuff, but this is not the only person who's been talking about this. We've been seeing videos coming out of trans individuals, bragging on social media with their guns now. Here's one video of, someone from the trans community talking about resisting and even making calls to violence.
Trans people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight them, hurt them, If they put their hands on you, beat them. We are at an attack. It's time to fight back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight. If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them, team up, gang together, get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer. Allegedly. But it's time. It's time. If they're gonna try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them. You fight them. And if they lock you in prison, fuck up the guards. Bust out of prison. Jump in with other trans people. It's time we organize a prison bust in Tennessee, guys. What? It's time we organize a prison bust. It's time we...
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. When I put this clip in here, I didn't know it was so crazy. You know, this dude went off the loony bus. Okay, I'm just saying it.
Start fighting. It's time. If they put their hands on you, fight them. Trans people, fight them. We will not let them create a genocide of trans people. I am so tired. I was in a live the other day with 2 trans people who denied this. Out of my way. I disown any trans person who disagrees with this notion. You are not allowed at the fucking table. It's time to fucking fight. Trans genocide's around the corner. Stop debating cis people in your existence. I do not debate. My existence is not a conversation. We fucking fight now, or we die. And we're not gonna die debating cis people. They're gonna have the last word. They're joining your life to call you a man. They're joining your life to call you a woman. They're joining your life to misgender you, to get the right pronouns, to tell you that you're not existent. They're fucking with you and you're an idiot. Stop. You're gonna kill us all. Join together and start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. They're fucking with you. You're being gaslit. You think you're gonna have a conversation and make progress. We don't have time to make progress. We have time to fight. God, all of you, I'm disappointed. Fight. Stop. I'll tell you something. If a police officer put his hands on me for trying to be who I am, I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me. And I suggest you do the same. The time for debate is over. It's a waste of time.
Whoa. I mean, oh my goodness. I'm glad I don't browse libs of TikTok every day. That was extremely disturbing to watch. I mean, it doesn't sound like the person was saying to just go around just attacking everyone in sight, every cisgender person in sight, but there are still some things that he said that were very, very disturbing. I mean, first of all, you see, like, you know, a claim of, you know, basically calling for an escalation of violence, right? Putting your hands on someone else is not like, you know, doesn't necessitate that you have to like actually like die. But one thing I find interesting is that a lot of rhetoric that you saw in this TikTok here is kind of what you've been seeing a lot, where there have been people have been saying that there's calls for trans genocide, which just have not been true. A lot of people have been saying that like the bills to ban, you know, trans surgeries or whatever, are, you know, calls to get trans people killed. It's just not the case. Not sure where that's coming from, but we have been seeing people on the right saying that a lot of trans individuals are being whipped up into frenzies and radicalized into violence. I think we're seeing, you know, the product of that here in this video. It's just completely unacceptable. And even if this person had a point, you know, choosing a time that's right after, you know, children, innocent children were gunned down at a Christian school while doing nothing wrong to trans people, is completely indefensible. Now, one would think that maybe a lot of the lunacy would be limited to the trans community, in that a lot of people outside of that small community wouldn't also be joining in the fun of, you know, either, you know, promoting violence or bashing on the people who did, you know, bashing on the people who ended up getting killed. But no, apparently, a good friend of the stream, David Pacman, actually went and made this extremely embarrassing tweet here saying, very surprising that there would be a mass shooting at a Christian school given that lack of prayer is often blamed for these horrible events. Is it possible that they weren't praying enough or correctly despite being a Christian school? So here we've got a variation of that whole, where is your God now tauntings that you see in the Bible a lot, in the Old Testament, where you see pagans mocking Christians when things are going wrong. Here we have another pagan mocking Christians again for things going wrong. And, this individual didn't stop there. Pacman also went on and said that he would go ahead and delete the tweet. But the damage had already been done. The embarrassment had already set in. And, look. This is absolutely horrible. But this is what happens when you have this slow descent into just like the normalization of hating individual groups. So Christians right now generally are looked on very negatively among the world, which is why even you're starting to see, denominations of Christianity, such as like the progressive Christian movement, centering their theology around appeasing the mainstream political narratives, the mainstream culture, and kind of like where the left wing is trying to take the mainstream culture today. But, as a Christian, none of this should really be that surprising, right? There have been Christians all around the world who have suffered worse than whatever we're suffering right now. We can go to school freely, whatever. And some have been wondering whether or not copycat killers are going to go around targeting more Christians and more schools or more churches or whatever. For that, I honestly don't know. Some people on the left have also been wondering about whether or not people are going to target trans people in retaliation for this. As far as that goes, I really don't know. But I think, as a Christian, and a lot of people in the chat here are Christians that I know of. So thanks for you guys for tuning in. But for those of you who are Christians, I just want to say that, if there comes a time when people are running around shooting Christians blatantly, which could very well happen in America, we shouldn't be like, oh, how dare this happen in America? How dare you? Because look, Christians all across the world throughout time, from the beginning of Genesis until today, have been experiencing persecution far worse than that. So, just as Christians, we should just live in godly ways while we can until we die or someone comes to kill us. But that's kind of beside the point. It's kind of besides the point. David Pacman then later took to Twitter again to try to defend himself. And he was kind of whining and complaining about people getting mad about the tweet. He said here, despite the right decrying cancel culture and calls for boycotts, they're now contacting my advertisers and demanding they cancel their ad campaigns, which, to be fair, is a little bit of a bridge too far. David Pacman also said, anyone who knows me understood the tweet and gets the whole story. I mean, it's terrible that it takes a familiar relationship to understand David Pacman's tweet, but poor articulation skills, especially for someone who's, a talk show host, I would guess is the only thing you could blame that for. But anyways, let's see here. He posted this whole video in defense of his terrible tweet. And hopefully it's not as egregious as the tweet itself. Because, I like watching people on the left sometimes. But it's hard to swallow stuff from people who hate Christians. I'm a Christian, so I'm gonna be loving to everyone. But at the same time, there is a finite limit of patience. There's a finite amount of patience that I have. Now, granted, this video is 5 minutes long, so we'll see what happens. But here's David Pacman complaining that making fun of the people who got killed after a mass shooting got people upset.
If you're angrier about my tweet regarding yesterday's shooting in Nashville, Tennessee than you are about the fact that 6 people, including 3 kids, are now dead as a result of that shooting, then we have a real problem here.
It's not entirely true. It's not entirely true. Here's why. There's a saying that politics is downstream from culture, right? I would argue that a lot more than that is downstream from culture. I think most things are actually downstream from culture, including mass shootings. Our biggest problem right now is the glorification of violence and the legitimization of violence depending on who the target of the violence is. We've seen this a lot from the far left, saying that we should go punch Nazis, even if the Nazis have not done anything to us. Right? So we've seen that. But I think this is taking a completely different tone. And we can't give any wiggle room for people who want to call for violence. We have to stand up and say, no, the violence is wrong. The violence under any circumstance is not right unless you're being actually physically like attacked or you're trying to save somebody else's life. We should not be committing acts of violence against anyone. And this goes for, the wild conservative Christians too, right? Who are going to be, I'm quite sure there's some alt-right people who are maybe planning attacks against trans people. No, don't do that. But what's worse than that is when after the actual killing, we have people legitimizing the killings or saying that, they deserved it or something like that. That's even more dangerous, especially when, the killings that we do have on our hands right now are at such a small scale. Because, if we're being honest, there are lots of things that are killing more people than mass shootings right now. So, for example, more people died, like a day or two before that shooting in a fire in Texas on the Mexico border. 40 people died in that fire. 6 people died in this shooting. But still, this means that the discourse surrounding this is even more important because shootings have not hit critical mass. But the discourse that we have surrounding these shootings determines whether or not these shootings will hit critical mass. If we validate these terrorist attacks, then they will grow in prominence, especially since this is homegrown terror. These are things happening because people have said this is a fine thing to do, and also because people have been lying to many folks, including the trans community, in saying that they're facing some sort of genocide, which they're not doing. So it is entirely appropriate to be more upset about 30 people on the internet who have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of eyeballs watching them, legitimizing the violence. It's more important to, it's completely fine to be more upset about that than to be upset about the fact that people died, because you know what? If we have loud voices, prominent voices online telling people that it's okay to go kill people, then people will go and do that. And that should not happen. We should do whatever we can in the form of internet discourse to push back against that. So no, David Pakman, I'm not going to hand you a tissue while you cry about, people not liking the fact that you legitimized a terrorist attack.
I support people who pray if they want to pray, praying, if that's important to them.
But he's also going to make fun of you too, if if he thinks that it fits a political point. Sorry. I'm gonna keep it rolling.
But it doesn't prevent shootings. And so when elected officials offer nothing more than thoughts and prayers, and then we have another shooting and another one, and they continue to offer nothing more than thoughts and prayers, they were the target of my ire, not the victims of the shooting.
Another thing to consider too, and you can go look this up, but gun control generally does not really do a whole lot as far as making communities safer and more protected from mass shootings. For example, right? Because the argument has generally been that more guns equals more violence, right? One thing to consider too is that the shooter wanted to shoot a different school but decided not to because they had armed guards. It's also important to consider that the police officers, who had a wonderful response and they should be commended, They did exactly what they needed to do. Those police officers used guns to stop this attack. That also is something that should be considered here.
And that I stand by 100%. Anyone who knows me knows I would never blame the victims of a mass shooting for that mass shooting. Thoughts and prayers are fine, but we have to go beyond it. I took a shot at thoughts and prayers, and every parent I know is feeling the fury and the anger and the frustration. I've laid out plans, detailed, to actually do something about mass shootings. 10 different points and policies, none of which by itself would solve the problem of mass shootings, but taken together in conjunction with cultural and other issues would dramatically reduce mass shootings.
Look. I disagree with this guy on this. Like, I don't think that like gun control policies are the answer, but you know, it's good to have a plan. If you're going to say we need more than thoughts and prayers, it's good to have action steps at the ready. But that's a lot different than making fun of people for offering thoughts and prayers and being like, oh, you should have prayed harder. No. The right response here is not to make fun of Christians for praying. It's absolutely despicable. Bro, I am extremely disappointed in this person for stooping to make fun of Christians for praying for shooting victims.
I get, not naive, if you're a Second Amendment fundamentalist, it's convenient and easy to go after someone like me who wants gun safety regulations, and we may not make productive progress in figuring out how to solve this problem. Maybe you're part of the group that says there will never be a solution. Mass shootings are always going to happen. They're here forever. And I was almost there for a while. And now I'm back to, we have to solve this. We have to do something about this. And as a parent myself and speaking to other parents, that fury makes a lot of sense. So we should all be mad. I'm mad. But we should be mad about the fact that at this point, as parents and community members and teachers and relatives, seeing what's happening with the deaths of children as a result of guns, taking NRA money is like taking...
Is that the result of guns? Is the result of a murderer? So, I mean, this, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but we have yet to see a case where a gun committed a mass shooting by itself. Now, we've got some folks in the chat. I think at least one of you guys is, you know, politically inclined. If you guys know of any instances where a gun went out and committed a mass shooting on its own, feel free to let me know. I don't recall about, you know, hearing anything about that, but I am more inclined to think that this gun, these guns killed these people because someone pointed the trigger at innocent children and teachers at a Christian school. But again, that's just me. Maybe that's a controversial take. I don't know.
Taking blood money. We should be mad about the fact that a huge number of our elected officials openly say this has nothing to do with guns. Nothing to do with guns? Could it be mental health as a component? Sure. Let's deal with it.
And this is one thing that's great. I will say this. We're starting to see the left and the right converge on this and say, you know, we do have a mental health issue in this country, and this is contributing to the the situation where we have all of these shootings in America. Because for the longest time, we've just seen the left and right just going at it. But we're finally now getting to see some common ground, and common ground is always great to see. I'm hoping that the left and right tries to meet in the middle on an actual solution for this and says, hey, we disagree on gun control, but we know that mental health is part of this. So let's work together on some sort of mental health solution that will not only decrease the amount of mass shootings that we have in America, but will also just improve so many other things in society and daily lives of Americans, not only affecting mass shootings.
Could it be the culture surrounding firearms in the U.S.? Absolutely. That's a particular problem with the U.S., but it has something to do with guns as well. And so when is the right time to talk about that and the fact that the thoughts and prayers don't prevent shootings? Is it right after the shooting? Well, no, you're politicizing it. It's too soon. It's not okay. They haven't buried their dead. Well, is it right after the funerals? Is it in a month when they've moved on from this shooting, even though we have one or two every day, even if they don't make the news? When is it? Is it right before the next shooting?
He makes a good point here. I actually kind of agree with this, which is like, you know, in my opinion, the moment where we talk about the solutions of stopping shootings, really the best time to do it is when we have all the information, at least if we know how it happened and why it happened. We know how this happened. We don't know why this happened because the police have not yet released the manifesto. So we're still waiting on that. But he makes a good point, right? Because you can't be silent about these things forever. I think that, you know, even though I disagree with a lot of what he's saying here, is relatively acceptable. But what he's saying here is not the same as making fun of Christians for praying. And on top of that, he's refusing to apologize for doing so, which I think is even worse.
So listen, I tried something to avoid falling into complacency. Not everybody liked it. I've been duly chastised. But how and when do we take action?
Oh, hold on. Let me see here. I see my camera glitching out here. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, I think it's frame drops, but it's whatever. I can't do much about it. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and charge through this.
I leave it up to you. So for everyone who's been reaching out furious with me, if you're willing to actually talk proactively about what to do and find what can we agree on, the lowest hanging fruit that must be done to reduce shootings, I'm willing to talk to you. If you're on the side of making threats, sending me or my family threats, anti-Semitic messages, we probably don't have a lot to talk about. But anybody reaching out in good faith who's...
Again, I talked about this kind of at the top of my coverage of this. No one should be using this situation as an excuse or, a time to call for violence. No one. Not people on the left, not people on the right. We should not be calling for violence during this time.
Says, hey, I get that you're angry. I didn't like what you said, or at least initially I misunderstood it, misinterpreted it. Maybe we can make some progress. I'm more than willing to hear from you and talk. I haven't given up. I almost did. But especially as a parent, how can I say, well, we're never going to solve this problem. We have to solve it or at least try. The tweet didn't work. Okay. From what I understand, from what people of faith, including Christians, realize, that prayer alone isn't working. We have free will. Free will creates consequences in the real world for our actions or our inaction. So what else can we do? Anything we can do to prevent these shootings must be done. Why aren't we trying lots of the things that I've suggested that we haven't yet tried?
I don't know if we haven't tried gun control. It's kind of a bold claim. Gun control has been tried in lots of states all across the country, and we still see shootings all across the country in states that have gun control, in states that don't have gun control. So, gun control is not like the huge factor here that's causing this, in my opinion. Now, for David Pakman, and there are other people who've been saying, well, why have we not done anything? It's because there's so much disagreement about what we need to do. We have such a big group of people who think that gun control is the answer, that if people want to do things that are not like gun control solutions, such as, putting more armed guards in front of schools, there's not enough support to get that passed. But then we have so many people who support things like, protecting kids with guards, and don't support just getting rid of Second Amendment rights, that if people try to repeal some Second Amendment rights, then that doesn't pass either. So there's too much polarization in order for us to coalesce around one big solution, which is why I'm excited to see people on the left and the right acknowledge that the mental health aspect of this is a huge factor in this, because maybe it means that we can agree on a solution for this, at least to some degree.
If we do nothing, nothing will change. That we can be sure of, and that simply cannot be.
Again, I agree with a lot of what he said in the video. Hold on, this is This is irking me. The frame drops. I agree with a lot of what he said in the video, but while I agree with a lot of what he said in the video, he completely refused to apologize. Mr. Pizza here in the chat is saying, David Pakman, even if he brings up good points, he never wants to apologize for what he did. Clearly showing he doesn't care. I don't know if it means he doesn't care, but you know, I thought it was a careless response, to be honest. And on top of that, let's see, did that fix it? Okay, there we go. Fix it. Okay. On top of that, he didn't really take the time to be empathetic to people of faith and consider why what he said was so atrocious. Now, it's unfortunate because one thing that he touched on too is kind of insinuating that, you know, you're not doing anything, you're just accepting things. And, you know, do you like not care about what's going on? We've seen this too with, you know, even from folks at Cedarville University, a university I used to attend in person, where, you know, here we have an example of a, I guess, can you guys read it? I don't know if you guys can read. I don't know if you guys can read this. No, it's too bright. But anyways, CU Exposed put out a story on Instagram saying, Cedarville students and staff are always quick to speak up for protecting children when it involves the topics of abortion or human trafficking, but are often silent, or often completely silent, when children are harmed or killed by gun violence. When the lives of children are at stake every day because of an epidemic of gun violence, reasonable and moral people must choose to care more about children's lives than their right to own dangerous weapons. This is not a political point, it is a moral one. Don't stop caring about protecting children when doing so becomes an inconvenience to you or your politics, which is another terrible take, unfortunately, by a Christian social media page. Look, I completely understand if you're upset about people not agreeing with you on the solution for gun violence, because I agree with people disagreeing with me on the solution for gun violence. But at the end of the day, especially if we're Christians, we should not be accusing people of not caring about the situation just because we disagree on what the solution should be. So, like, look, we need to be able to look at each other, you know, both sides of the aisle, right? Pro-gun, anti-gun, and honestly be able to admit that neither of us are running around wanting children to die on the altar of political, you know, political advantages or political policies or I don't know, anything along political lines. That's not what's happening here. What's happening is we have a lot of people who disagree on a solution. Disagreeing on a solution leading to the inaction of the government does not mean that we don't care. It means that we actually care so much that we don't want to enact bad policies. We want to be very careful to make sure that we get this right. So I hope people kind of get that and don't go at each other's necks. We have enough polarization in this country already. I think this violence is actually in part because of this polarization. We need to have some unity. Tragedy should bring the nation together, shouldn't drive us apart, shouldn't cause us to go at each other's throats. Because, hey, if we're going at each other's throats, then we're just making things worse. Going at someone's throat is literally what shooters do. And we don't want to participate in that sort of cultural environment. So, that's my thought. I generally think shooting and violence and demonizing people are bad, but that's just me. Alrighty, we got a lot of chat messages. Thanks everyone for sending in these chats. I just turned on the TTS. I'm gonna read your guys' thoughts before moving forward. I think that your guys' I care what you guys think, and I want to address things chat, if you have questions.
I think the media is to blame for this divide and conquer thing.
Let's see here. Lennoxo said, actually, hold on. Let me go here. Official Mike said, stop defending a murder. I agree. Mr. Pizza has an interesting point. He says, okay, I know I'm not the political news person, but kind of of a hot take. Is it even a surprise that people on TikTok are promoting violence? This is an interesting point. I don't use TikTok, right? So I can't really speak to this. You would probably be better equipped to answer this than me. But, it doesn't make it okay we should still call it out. But it's not like TikTok people are promoting violence, because I don't think most people on TikTok were promoting the violence. It was just a niche portion of an already niche community, which is the trans community, arguing for this type of violence. So what I'm hoping is that this messaging doesn't take hold and become popular, because then we're going to have a real problem. We're going to have a real problem if we see a cultural movement to writ large
Rebel Shadow
just support
said in the
violence.
chat.
We can't.
Eyes.
Okay, I mean, this is a different subject, but I think that banning TikTok is a terrible thing to do. You know, I don't think
Lennoxo said in the chat.
Here's the thing.
TikTok is slowly becoming Twitter.
I actually don't like TikTok. I actually hate the platform. I actually agree with a lot of the people who are saying that it's, you know, it's run by China and all this stuff. But the government should have the power to ban the platform. Now,
said in the chat.
If Google
I could
wants
say
to
the
remove
same
it from
thing
the
about
App Store,
guns. We should ban them too, because I am
Apple wants to
honest to
remove
God
it
sick
from
and
the App
fucking
Store,
tired of people abusing their
think-
Second Amendment rights.
Look, if Google wants to remove TikTok from the Play Store or Apple wants to remove it from the App Store, I think that's perfectly fine. But the government should not be banning social media platforms. I don't think that's their
Mr.
role.
Pizza said in the chat.
But
TikTok
will
has
say
been a
this.
shish show since it was called Musically.
I will say this though, is that you do see kind of to your point, Rebel Shadow, saying that, you know, the public is too stupid to be trusted with TikTok. I don't know if I want to be that condescending, but I will say you do just see just brain dead takes and just terrible discourse on TikTok, an increase of that you don't really find on that many platforms except maybe Twitter, as Linuxo pointed out. So I think if TikTok itself was banned,
Official
it'd be a
Mike
net
Mike
positive like socially
said in the chat.
for society.
I think
But at the
TikTok
same
needs to have a
time,
report
there'd
for
just be ripple effects,
misinformation and
because then
have
you could
warnings
have
for
a
content that may be
president-
false.
You could have, you know, President Joe Biden, for example, be like, I want to ban Truth Social, and just doing that. I don't think that that's a power that the federal government should have. I just think that's incredibly problematic. If somebody might says it's not hey, it's arresting a murderer. Yeah. Let's see here. Somebody might said, I didn't know we watched Stalinists. A lot of people on the left were fans of Stalin and Lenin and Mao and all those folks. Galaxy or GLX? Is it Galaxy? Galaxy in the chat. Is this Galaxy or GLXSKY? But anyway, he says, literal children are dead, and this is how people react to the situation. Wow, just wow. I know. It's terrible. I'm honestly pretty disappointed in a lot of Americans' response to this whole situation.
Mr. Pizza
So we have
said in the chat.
okay, yes, I did see
Newbie, I
that you
resent
said
the
that.
link to the Moist Critical
We have,
Sings
Mr. Pizza saying in the
Rage.mp3.
chat, TikTok in a nutshell, cringe videos, but you also find people promoting violent social media. Am I right, people? I mean, kind of to a degree, yeah. We do. Also, Linuxo, if you're in the chat, I'm going to give you the
GLXSKY.
privileges to hop on.
Said in the
and once
chat.
I answer all these questions from
I don't
chat,
know, call
we
me
can
Chris
hop on into a
LOL.
call if you want. You know, I think you said there was some drama about Daniel Lord. We can get into that. If you want to share some, share some thoughts on the shooting, we can do that as well. But if you're still free and you're still down, definitely hop on, because I would love to have you on the show again, or on the stream again. It's not a show. Let's see here. Mike Mike said, why are we giving these fascists attention? We bullied these people back in the 1980s. Well, the thing is that this brand of fascism is kind of popular now, unfortunately. So that's the whole thing. Let's see. Official Mike Mike said, murder is murder. Correct. Mr. P says, I'm glad I don't watch the news or anything. It's always sad, depressing, anxiety feeling, etc. Stay away from it. Nothing good comes from it. I mean, it's good to stay informed. It's especially helpful if you're
Official Mike.
especially helpful
Said
if
in
you're
the
of
chat.
voting age.
I don't
'Cause then
think we
you
should
can
outright
vote in
have
an
government
informed way.
ban social media would be no better than the
Mr.
Stalinists. However, maybe the algorithm can be manipulated to shadow ban it.
Oh, I might think about that
said
a little
in the
bit.
chat. I can't join in.
Oh, dang. Well, if you're free later tonight, let me know. Let me know if you'll be free later tonight. Let's see. Mr. Pizza said David Dackman. I called him Lavid Lackman because of the L's of his tweet. He said you can be an idiot sometimes. I don't know him too well. I know that ISM, Sticky Microorganism, is a huge fan of David Pacman. So I reacted to some of his videos, and some of them I agreed with, some of them I didn't agree with as much. But this was just a bridge too far for me. To make fun of Christians for praying for shooting victims is just horrible. And he also used a straw man fallacy because he was saying that people are saying, oh, all we need are thoughts and prayers. I literally know of no one or no political persuasion that says the only solution to gun violence that we need is thoughts and prayers. Oh, if we think hard enough,
Lennox
pray hard enough.
Said in the
no
chat.
No one is saying that.
The Breadline channel
so
is
he's kind
locked.
of making fun of that. Oh, well, sorry. I mean, I didn't let you in because you said you weren't free.
Lennox said in the chat.
I want to
asterisk
some of
voice
these,
chat.
questions. Okay, I do want to address this. Okay, Galaxy said I could just call him Chris. Okay, Chris. Chris said this in the chat, and I do want to correct the record on this. He said, love that you are not biased during this coverage, newbie. This is not true. I am completely biased. I try to be more neutral, especially when we don't know the circumstance of the shooting, but I'm completely biased. I am a pro-gun dude. I support the Second Amendment. That's just where I'm at. But at the same time, first of all, we need to have empathy on people who disagree with us.
Mike
so I can't just lambast
said in the chat.
people who disagree with me and say that
David
they don't care or they want
should be
shootings to keep
sued
on
like
going.
Alex Jones.
Because they, just like me, are just trying to solve the problem. We just disagree on what the solution is. So I am completely biased. If you want to go to a more non-biased source for news, I would recommend looking up something like Breaking Points is a really good unbiased source for news. Tim Pool is kind of like a centrist technically, but I think he leans right, and I just generally don't like him that much anymore, personally. But yeah, no, I'm not unbiased. I try to be as unbiased as I can unless I'm doing a legit opinion piece, not a let's respond to people who are calling for violence type video. But I mean, I appreciate that you thought it was unbiased, but I'm biased, bro. I'm very biased. So certainly keep that in mind. If you're gonna watch people on the left, watch people on the right too. If you're gonna watch people on the right, watch people on the left too. I'm on the right, so at least also watch a centrist or someone on the left to supplement it and make up your own mind rather than just like taking everything I say at face value. Like educate yourself legitimately. Don't just get brainwashed by me who's just like making YouTube videos in my parents' house. Like I am certainly not the most qualified person for you to get your news from. So you should not use me as your primary news source. Let's see here. First of all, Mike said, I think that social media or media is to blame for this divide and conquer thing. I agree. The media has kind of inflamed everything, but I think social media also has heightened the rate at which the polarization has occurred. So that's just me. Rebel Shadow. Oh, yo, Rebel Shadow. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following the channel. I appreciate that, man. Yo, that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate you, man. Also join the Discord. Rebel
Mr.
Shadow also
Pizza
said, I could say the same thing about guns. We should
Newbie,
ban
will you
them
be
too
covering
because
my latest
I'm
update VID today or another time?
Using the second amendment rights.
GLXSKY. Said in the chat.
I would say that
well,
honestly,
I'm not very well knowledge when it comes to politics, but I just love how you cover the news in a respectful manner.
I disagree. I don't think that we should ban guns. One big reason why I don't think we should ban guns is because of what's happening in Canada and what's happening in Australia. Both countries have very strong gun laws, and while they don't really have mass shootings,
Official
the government,
Mike,
even in Canada,
said in the
is
chat,
literally trampling the
I
citizens
often research
in the
and think
street.
for myself.
I think what's far more dangerous, I have a video about this actually, about authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is bad. What's far more dangerous than a gun in the hand of the wrong citizen is the gun in the hands of the wrong political regime. Because look, if
Official Mike
there's a
Mike
bad guy with a gun,
said in the chat,
if there's a
I
bad guy with a
think
gun,
guns should have more background checks
if
on
there's
people.
some Looney Tunes dude running around with a gun who wants to kill people in a theater or something, then another guy or the police can go in and put him down. But if we have a Looney Tunes president or governor or something, or mayor who wants to oppress the citizens, and they have the whole police at their disposal, and they decide to just go ahead and just, terrorize the citizens, shoot down people, commit acts of genocide, and the citizens
Official
don't have
Mike
guns,
Mike
there's no recourse
said in the chat,
to
well, I'm portraying
defend
Trudeau
yourself
as a horny
from-
dictator in my
from-
YTP.
There's no recourse for defending yourself from being trampled on or being oppressed. So I do think that citizens need to be able to have guns. Now, should there be limits to, to what guns you can buy and own? I understand the debate. For now, I disagree, but I'm open to having my mind changed. I just think that it's a slippery slope if we, at a federal level, say that that's fine. But again, that's just me. That's just my opinion. But I just think that if you look at Canada, you look at Australia, and see what happened after, guns were removed from citizens, and then we see how the government treated the citizens because they could. I just don't think that's a good thing. I just don't think that's a good thing. Okay, I think we've got almost all of the oh, hold on. Mr. Peter said, Newbie, will you cover my list today or another time? Today. I'll be covering it today. Chris said, I'm not very well knowledge when it comes to politics, but I just love it you cover the news and stuff. Many things. I embrace the fact that I'm biased, but I'll try to respect people who disagree with me as much as I possibly can. I think that the lack of respect and just the going at people's throats is 100% contributing to this polarization. So I'm trying to fight against the polarization as best I can. Mike might say, I think guns have more background checks on people. I mean, interesting. I don't know if I 100% agree, but I wouldn't be surprised if that would save some lives, to be honest. But I mean, that's certainly something to think about. One of those solutions that, maybe it's not one I would pick, but it could work. All right, so Lennox O, I'm giving you the rights to hop into the bread line if you want to. If you're free, let me know in the chat if you're free. And then we could talk about the shooting. We could talk about whatever you want. I know there's some drama that you wanted to bring up. We could talk about that. It's up to you. We do a fair bit of things to react to and cover as well. Let's see here. Oh, hey, we got Lennox O on the line. Hey, Lennox O, what's up?
Official Mike Mike said in the chat.
Sorry. The CS running. Okay, hold on. Sorry, can you say it again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Chat, let me know if the sound is good. Because no. I just want to know if the sound is good.
Nice. All right. So I have some new Daniel Lord information.
Okay.
So apparently, Josh kind of mentioned it in the very beginning of the stream that it kind of spoiled in the beginning. So I'll just cut it short. Daniel Lord's my editor now.
But didn't you guys lead a whole charge about like anti-Semitism or something of that effect?
Well, okay. So it's different with me compared to Mr. Pizza, because with me, I really didn't have any drama with Daniel in the start. Like, the only time I've ever had quote unquote drama with him was when I joined Daniel Lord's server, and apparently Mr. Pizza got kicked out, or Josh got kicked out from Daniel Lord's server. And I asked Daniel, I was like, why did Mr. Pizza get kicked? Did he do anything wrong? And apparently that got me kicked out of the Daniel Lord's server or whatever. But that's like, I would say that's the only like closest like drama related thing I have, which is, I guess, isn't really drama in my book, honestly. I was just me asking a genuine question.
Wait, so if he did that, if he kicked you out of his Discord, why did you join? I mean, I'm sure you're aware of kind of his racist past. Now, one thing I'm interested in hearing is, has he changed? Because I have been rooting for him to change, hoping that he changes. I think that the door should always be open for people to like turn their lives around.
Well, I don't know. I still haven't talked to him as much. I mean, I'm like Josh. He talks to him more often than I do, so he would probably explain if he has changed more than I have. I've been kind of hesitant with talking to him, but I mean, like we had a pretty good conversation today about if he should be my editor, and surprisingly enough, he was down with it, which was quite surprising, if I'm gonna say, because his editing obviously has been like the best editing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, really, of any YouTuber? Yeah, even Josh couldn't agree with me on that one if he's still in the chat. But he is probably one of, like, in my book, probably one of the best editors. He's kind of motivated me to make more videos, honestly, because of how like he can like edit his videos. I know it's a very bad influence to be influenced by someone like that, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, I take a lot of influence from my streams from a streamer named Hasanabi, which in my opinion, who in my opinion, he's not a great person, and also is racist and supports violence against certain groups. But at the end of the day, he makes good content, and so he is to some level an inspiration for my content. And I guess if Daniel Lord is in a similar way, certainly one thing, but I think that's a little bit different than I just think that's a little bit different than actually hiring. You're not hiring him because I'm sure it's free, but having him be a part of your process of actually creating the content. Yeah, he's only a temporary editor for now, because you know why. I'm kind of because I'm maybe. Wait,
hold on a second. Can you join the bread party? Because I see the Mr. Pizza wants to talk on.
Yeah. It would make sense because he's also kind of a part of this drama too, as well. Okay, or not drama, not necessarily drama.
I'm gonna move over there.
All right.
Let's see. So, oh my goodness, did it crash? Yo, why did Discord crash on me?
And I'm here.
Yo, why did Discord crash on me? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just check this for a second. Okay. Pizza, I'm about to add you on to the thing, but continue your thought there, Lenzo.
I'm straight.
Oh, no, that doesn't help.
Are you sure?
No, that's not relevant. That's not. No. Okay, so, yes, long story short, Daniel Lord is my editor. He honestly, again, I'm gonna say this again. He is really good with edit. I don't mean to compare people, but he's not like the Shitterator, where he just makes flashy editing and just obnoxious, just over the top, trying to get it all in your face. Like, he's not like that. He knows his boundaries when it comes to editing at most times, and that's what I like about him the most. I mean, again, a bad influence, I know, but this is only I'm explaining in terms of editing.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to be honest, I didn't think his editing was bad, but it wasn't anything special in my opinion. I mean, same with me. My editing isn't bad, but it's not anything special.
Yeah, I think Josh wanted to explain something too.
Oh yeah, what do you want to explain?
Yeah, well, in a sec, hold on.
Oh, do you mind if I, okay, since we're kind of getting the Daniel Lord era, do you mind if I tell you some Logan Zeter?
Zeter. Well, no, I wanted to hear about the Daniel Lord thing first.
That was pretty much it. It wasn't really anything chaotic. It's just Daniel Lord was going to be my temporary, not permanent for now, but temporary, because I'm considering temporary because I might have second thoughts. He might like display more drama or something.
Hey, Mr. Pizza, you're getting some echo on your end. I think you should probably put in earbuds or something.
Yeah,
I don't have them on me right now.
Yeah, no, he's only my temporary editor because I might have second thoughts with him being my editor, but I have seen how he has edited Josh's videos. They're really good. Like, have you ever seen like his Josh's recent videos? I think Daniel Lord has edited Some of
Josh,
them.
remind me who Josh is again. Sorry, I mixed up.
Mr. Pizza. Mr. Pizza.
Oh, he edited his recent video. I'm about to react to it. So I can comment on the editing.
Not that one. It's the second recent. His second recent.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not most recent. Yeah, not the other one.
Okay, I see.
I mean, there's not really much more to explain. It's really straight to the point. He is my editor for now, and I guess Josh is editor, or Mr. Pizza's editor for, I guess, because he's been kind of editing his videos too.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Pizza, what's your angle on this? Like, when it comes to Daniel Lord in 2023, has he changed? Has he issued any apologies? Has he taken any steps that made you think, okay, this guy is not the same dude we roasted in 2022?
That's a good question. See, it's hard to tell if he's full on changed or if he's only playing it cautious. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked to him.
I think it's a bit too soon to say if he's fully changed, because he could be playing it safe now. I'm not too sure.
I mean, we haven't talked to him enough to assume anything, honestly, for saying that he's safe or not.
Wait, so you're not okay? Wait, so you guys broke? Okay, so you cut ties with him because of his racist remarks. That was annoying. But now you brought him back into your fold, sort of.
Well,
despite not hearing about any behavioral changes, I'm gathering. So what kind of inspired you to reach out to him and include him in your content if the thing about him, which you kind of booted him from your community for, hasn't changed as far as
I guess for me, I don't know if it's different for Mr. Pizza, but for me, I feel like it's been with the Logan Zeter drama because he has brought Daniel Lord into the situation more often, and I guess because Logan Zeter is more erratic than Daniel is. He will start drama more often, I think, than Daniel is. Yeah. I mean, that's just how I see it. I mean, it could be different with how Josh sees it. I mean, for me, I feel like for the Logan Zeter drama kind of brought back Daniel into the mix, I guess, and that's how I kind of started communicating with Daniel, or just by that drama alone.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do stuff with them, I mean, that's your right to do that. I'm just a little bit surprised because of the vehemence of your community after him, that all of a sudden you're just oh yeah, he's cool. He'll edit my videos. That kind of threw me off. I was like, what? You're doing what now? You're letting who on your platform to do what in what capacity?
Well, because for me, I never had any drama with him. I've never had any drama with him or any altercations with him.
Yeah, but I mean, also, I personally have never had any personal drama with Louis Farrakhan, but I'm not going to do anything with him. So, not to equate the two, they're very different. Louis Farrakhan actually was calling for violence, but I don't know if you guys even know who he is.
Is he a streamer? Is he a streamer?
No, he's an old activist, and
yeah,
he's an activist. He's kind of he's basically allegedly the guy who kind of convinced Kanye West to be anti-Semitic.
So it's okay.
Yeah. So Kanye talked to Louis Farrakhan, and then after that, then he kind of went down this destructive path. But in any case, that's a bit of a distraction. Again, maybe you see him differently than we all do, and maybe you see a different side of him. I don't know if he's changed. Mr. Pizza, do you want to speak on whether or not Daniel Lord's changed at all? I know I think you had said a little bit of something to the effects of if he's being cautious, but I can't remember if I cut you off or.
No, that's what I said, and he didn't cut me off or anything.
Maybe
I stand by those statements.
Maybe it is. I can't assume anything about him. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
Yeah, and hey, it's possible that he's changed, and if so, it would be really great to know that because nobody in our community is talking to him. And he's not going to put out a YouTube video called "Sorry, I was racist" anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. No, it's already too late for that.
So if you guys talk with him and you're like, bro, this dude's different. This dude's changed. This dude's renewed and improved. This is Daniel Lord 2.0. Then I'm cool with it. Now I'm not gonna hire him to make the thumbnails like he wanted me to years ago. But it's just good to hear. It would be good to hear that he's kind of changed his ways and grown for the better.
I guess in a little bit he has, kind of, it seems. Like, I feel like in a sense, like, it's like he's a lot more chill than he was before, which is a good thing.
That is a good thing. Now granted, him not being chill I don't think that was the primary concern we had about him.
No.
But I mean, it's good that he's improved on that front at least.
All right.
Now,
that's all I had to say. That's all I had to say. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Before I move forward, because I do want to move forward with a couple other reaction stuff, a couple other reaction things. Did you guys have anything you wanted to say about the whole shooting situation? I know it's a big story right now. I know you guys are not politically minded, but I did say a lot in my segment earlier about the whole situation. I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts about what I said or anything.
No, I sorry, I needed to hop off right now because I kind of have to go. Sorry. I know it's sorry for being kind of sudden. Yeah. No, because I have a big trip that I'm going tomorrow.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Coincidentally enough, the trip I'm going to is at Tennessee.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah. No, not at Nashville, though. No, not at Nashville.
Okay.
Chattanooga. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, lightning tends not to strike twice. So I wouldn't assume that you're in any danger. But, certainly, prayers headed your way in regards to that, for sure.
Yeah. But thanks for having me hop by.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. I need to do more calls like this because this is great to actually, like, listen to you guys and talk with you guys about this.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
All right. See ya. Mr. Pizza, I don't know if you had any thoughts about the shooting or not.
Not really, other than, like, why do people do it?
I don't know. A lot of it is grievances that would typically be political grievances, but then because culture has said, okay, for these things you can go and shoot people or punch people or whatever, then they go and they go and perform these acts of violence. Right.
I mean, it's bad when you have people committing these heinous crimes, but the fact that people also are defending it, like...
But that's why it happens. Because people don't randomly be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go take a baby and throw it in a lava pit. But if there's a lot of discourse online saying, hey, throwing babies into lava pits is a good and ethical thing to do because it's good for our environment, then you're going to see people doing that. So, like, it's all there's so many things that's downstream from culture, right? It's like so many things come down from just discourse and who people are following, and then they kind of set the tone for what people think is acceptable.
I feel like so many people, like, mindlessly follow a bunch of other people they look up to, and they don't even, like, stop to think or put in any extra thought or whatsoever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's the case. And, we used to, as a society, I think that this is a largely, like, postmodern phenomenon, because before the age of social media, before CNN and Fox News and all of that jazz, even hit the airwaves, we were largely a society that was religious. That, maybe we didn't all worship God, right? But we all worshiped some God. We all had unity in believing that a God exists. And a lot of religions have a synonymous moral code, meaning that, a moral code from one religion can translate into other ones. So, for example, a lot of different religions say that raping people is bad. A lot of different religions say that killing people is bad. A lot of different religions say lying is bad. And so when you have all these different religions who, a lot of them have very similar rules, they're not all the same. The modes of salvation are different, but some of the ethos is similar. And we also have unity in the fact that, we believe in God. then that creates an inherent unity in the country. But now we've gone into the scientific age where people feel like we don't need God anymore, we don't need religion anymore, we don't need rules anymore. So now people are running around making up their own rules, saying that whatever they think is okay, and now we have all these different people with all these ideologies and identities that just are so clashing because we have no common foundation for what is right and what is wrong. And it makes it harder for us to respect other people who disagree with us because we feel like there's less that we have in common. Even the fact that we're human beings generally feels inconsequential in many people's eyes in the face of, even party affiliation, which is terrible and it's sad, but it's kind of where we're at now. And I know I'm a Christian, so I'm biased into thinking that, if everyone just believed in Christianity, then everything would be hunky-dory and everything would be better. But I'm gonna be honest, I just think that that's true. It'd be hard to argue that a lot of the I'm trying to think of what would be the word. A lot of the moral shifts that have occurred since the advent of postmodernism have led to unity among the country. It hasn't. And when you have, a fractured state, which is kind of what we have now socially, a fractured state, then you're going to see more things. You don't inherently see more violence, but you see more division. And I think that violence is bred through division. You don't see people who agree with each other killing each other, usually.
Right.
You don't see people who are buddies, like literally going at each other's necks with machetes. Generally doesn't happen. And so there's just like a sense of unity that's just absolutely gone and decimated. I know I'm ranting here off of a question that you asked.
Is it okay before I hop off if I briefly talk about Daniel Lord again and why I kind of had an editor again? Is that cool with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I see something weird in the corner of the camera. Anyways, continue.
Yeah,
you didn't even start.
Alright, so yeah, I think so. I kind of just like it was when I was playing like Fortnite with Colin recently. Like I think it was like
we like Fortnite. Like we love cranking all those nights.
Yeah, so it was like a few days ago. Like I was playing Fortnite with him, and I was thinking like. Do I want to have Daniel like edit videos for me again because he was good at it? I was talking to Colin about it and everything, seeing kind of what he thought on the situation, and he didn't like I wouldn't say like disagree with my decision really. He kind of just said, do whatever you want to. So
interesting.
I came to the conclusion that I feel like it's very beneficial where I want to take my channel forward for the long term.
Right.
And I feel like his editing style matches what I'm trying to do, and I already know can do from, when he edited in the past.
Now, I would say this, what's the benefit of, having him, well, I guess it speaks for itself. Having him edit your videos rather than you editing it yourself, it's it reduces some of the labor, right? There's less stuff that you have to do.
Like there's a lot of benefits actually. One, like as you kind of said, reduces the labor. It reduces stress. I feel like it also it promotes more like motivation to want to make more stuff. And overall, like whenever he like edits and makes thumbnails for my channel specifically, it does better. Like it just like the content overall is just way better. So I think, at least in my opinion, this decision on a longer term for the channel is a lot better to take because like at the end of the day, like the channel is gonna have a lot better content, right? Like it's gonna you're gonna notice a huge difference in how much better it is.
Yeah.
And I want to, and I want to be in that stage where, you know, I kind of talk about, like, in my latest video that I know you'll be covering on stream, I kind of go more into detail, like, not about Daniel Lord, or go into detail about the direction of my channel and kind of stuff like that. Overall, like, I want my content to be good, and if that means, like, having Daniel as the thumbnail artist and editor, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I he's gonna produce good results each time I send him something, no matter what it is. Like, I know what the results are gonna be, and it's going to be good.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, did you?
Like,
I know you said you liked his style. Did you look around for people who can do editing or thumbnails in a similar style before going to Daniel Lord?
Well, I had, like, E Productions edited a couple videos for me and stuff and everything. Like, it was pretty good editing, but overall I think Daniel was just, like, the better option to go with, for at least in most cases, for most content. And another thing is, believe it or not, like, Daniel doesn't ask me to pay him to do it either. Or Lennoxo, he hasn't asked us to pay him whatsoever. Like, because he's even told me that, you know, he edits for a lot of other people as well who hire him, and he gets like $30 to $40 or more per video that other people are hiring him to edit.
Yeah, I assumed that you weren't actually paying him, because I don't think you guys make revenue off of your content, but it's just nomenclature. It's just in my nomenclature. It's in my vocabulary. It's just something I do. Where it's like if you bring someone on, you're hiring him, but I know that's not how it works.
Like, we don't have the money, obviously, and I think he knows that and everything, but he doesn't ask for payment, and, you know, that's his choice. Like, if he just wants to do it out of the fact that he loves to edit, hey, fine by me, you know?
Yep. And I mean, another thing too is, like, I don't, like, your channel isn't even monetized yet, is it?
Oh no, I'm not monetizing it neither.
So it's like, I mean, if your channel was monetized, I could see the argument for him, like, trying to get you to pay him, but
right.
I mean, he's making it for free.
I mean, whether people agree or disagree with the decision, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's my choice at the end of the day, right? And
of course.
And back to the topic on if he's changed, like, as I kind of stated before vaguely, like, he's a lot more chill and everything. And other good news, you know, he hasn't used the N-word anymore recently, which is a good thing.
Good gold star for not using the N-word as a white person.
All right, so that's a good. Overall, like, he seems like he's a lot more chilled out than he was before. Like, I also noticed that, like, he doesn't get as easily irritated as he did before, so maybe he's matured in that sense. Like, before, like, if you would say something to him and there was a brief argument, you know, he would go off on you and start saying the N-word and that. But now I feel like you can actually have an actual conversation with him, and you can more or less agree to disagree with things. Like, he doesn't, like, just jump you straight away for anything. Like, it does seem like he's chilled out a lot. Like, he, in a sense, like, he's definitely calmed down a bit more, and he seems a bit more mature. Now, could he be saying the N-word when we're not talking? Absolutely.
I mean, anyone could. I could be.
That's true. But when I say he's fully changed, like, obviously, like, I'm not gonna let my guard down at all. Because it obviously, like, don't let your guard down, especially if you've had past beef with them. Like, if you're gonna talk to them again, it is what it is. But just, like, be on edge, right? To, like, be prepared to heel turn at any moment.
Yeah, which I assume that you guys are.
Yeah, like, we're obviously prepared for anything, like, and you know, it's also funny, like, even though we've been talking and stuff, like, he hasn't once asked me to take down the cancellation videos.
I mean, what would even be the basis for that? Oh, you hurt my feelings. The content was true.
I know,
you said,
like,
as far as I understand.
I know, like, as, like, when I was talking to him about Trash Man and everything, I know that, like, he briefly brought up, like, the drama that we made in the past for my channel, but, like, he stated how, you know, he didn't respond or anything. Simple fact that he wanted to move away from it and not be like Trash Man, in the sense that, you know, it's just like a leech or whatever.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Overall, is it safe to say he's changed fully? Absolutely not. But he does. But like, he seems a bit different than he did before.
That's good. Maybe it's a good sign.
Look, I mean, it's better. He's better now than he was before. You know, that's something.
Yeah, that definitely is something.
You know, being more calm and stuff. You know, not using the N-word every 5 seconds in a Discord message. You know, it's
gold
a start.
Star, brother, gold star.
It's like it's a start. It's something.
It is.
Now, could he be a completely changed person? Absolutely. Could he still be the same racist that we always know him as? Absolutely. But who knows anymore, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, you know, we haven't really had an opportunity to actually see him in action and know whether or not he has changed, so it would be good to give him that opportunity.
No, I can't. Obviously, it'd be better. Like obviously, there are easier ways to get more intel based off that stuff, but I don't think I want to hop into call with him.
Why not?
I mean, just for a simple, let's be honest, his voice is atrocious.
You can still have conversations with people with bad voices. But in any case, I do want to make sure that I get to covering your video.
Yeah, I need to get off here. So if you want, you can cover the Moist Critical Sings Rage MP3 first before my thing if you want to. It's up to you.
Short. It'll take me less time to react to.
All right, I'm gonna hop off. Sorry for taking up too much time.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
We talked about Daniel Lord again, people.
Oh my goodness, it's fine. I'm not worried about the trap card. It's okay.
All right, see you, Newsby.
All right, see you, man. See you. All right, that was interesting. It was good to hear their takes on the matter. I am going to not react to the Ben Shapiro Minecraft stuff. I'm going to table that and save that for another stream because I want to still get to the Car 3 drama stuff. If we have time, we may not have time tonight. I'm seeing the clock. It's getting a little bit late, unfortunately. But I still want to make sure that I have some time set aside to cover memes. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. So here we have Moist Critical Sings Rage, which the background for this, by the way, is that Logan Z. Turner was in some beef with some YouTubers who are in my Discord community, and the guy made a diss track that he thought would be a slam dunk, but it turned out the song was trash. So he wanted a response, and did Mr. Pizza make this or Lennox O make this? But anyway, it's on Lennox O's channel. It's called Rage. Moist Critical Sings Rage MP3. So let's get into this. This should be interesting. It's like an AI song or something. Also, what is this beat? Does not sound good. What is he doing? Yo, is this a lyric video? Okay, let's film me this one. Okay.
I see you playing Minecraft. You should build a better face. Are you depressed or did you just get disgraced? You look like you just came out of the hospital trying to fix your Down syndrome. Minecraft, but I have Enderman powers, but in real life I'm a dumbass. Your channel is...
It still doesn't work. Yo, it still doesn't work. I was hoping you would connect the syllables together. But hey, that does not solve the fact that this dude just made this line that didn't even rhyme. So there's only so much that you could do with the material. But the voice sounds pretty good. I'm surprised at how realistic it is.
Pure fucking mince. Delete your channel and jump off a bridge. Stealing my thumbnail face, are you dumb? Doesn't matter, I'm doing anal with your mum. Yeah, I came in that pussy several times while she screamed in pain and I got it. Yeah, you absolute fucking fanny. Try and respond.
Reading the lyrics puts into context how cringe this song is. I almost don't even want to. I'll react to it, but it's like so cringe. Yo, it's hilarious that like if you look down here in the lower right-hand corner, it says rapping, which I mean I would barely call this rapping, and listenable, which this is marginally listenable. But hey, we have to blame Logan Z. Turner for having the trash rap lines to begin with.
I know you're fucking lonely. Good afternoon, Josh looks like a baby. His forehead bigger than my love for Kent.
For Kent? Like the university? What?
With a hairline deader than his mother's pet. Stop acting like a fucking fool. You can't even play a game of pool. You need to set down the mic and...
Yo! What a roast! What a diss! Ooh, you think you're so cool? Well, you can't even play a simple game of pool. Like, what?
To a boarding school. How do I know you're not a hacker? Are you a troll or a wonker? Who would win in a fight? Stop calling yourself a king. So Fat McDonald's
half of these lines don't even rhyme. It's so sad.
Wouldn't let you near the thing. Your bids are a crime. You can't even run. You made
this dude isn't even rhyming. He's got no bases.
your channel, I can kill anytime. To me, your afterthought. My bars are fire, baking hot. Here's something you forgot. You're living in the house your mom never bought. Tickle me, Winky, you don't even have one. I just went and fucked your...
What does that mean? Tickle me, Winky. What does that even mean? Dude, I'm expecting him to say, like, I don't know, what, like, Jakers and something about, like, Tiddlywinks? I don't know.
Your mom, a trash joke here, trash joke there. One of the worst trash jokes of the year. I'm a fucking spit real bars bitch. So we're a team that'll give you an inch. Hold up, that's life and knowing and right. Who's that much of a fucking nerd? The color of his hair would look like a turd's. Enough of this shit, looking like 2 on the dice. Your face looks like a colony of mice. But Josh, I'm done.
It just doesn't make sense. What are these rhymes?
Making you a shotgun. Next time you shit talk, you'll be a dead runt. Hey, you thought I was done? Too bad, because verse 4's just begun. Sucking on the butt of drama like a leech. If I were you, I'd just drink bleach. Crying to your channel like a little bitch. Your mother should have threw you in a ditch. The last diss arose to a guy named Char.
Char? Who names their child Char?
Surprised your sublets made it this far. Spitting beats like we a Burger King.
What does that even mean? Spitting beats? Spitting beats like we're at Burger King?
Flame grilled Josh is just...
Burger King is not known for grilling Josh flame broiled that I know of. Am I wrong, chat? Am I wrong?
My thing. Wait a minute, I'm getting a call. Too bad the next verse is your downfall. Next verse on the track is number 5, and it's a verse that'll make your channel die. Dude, you're just a fucking...
Yo, I can't imagine him actually writing this and being sincere, like, oh, this is gonna kill his channel. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Mess, and your insurance bill is in distress. If I hear one more that is good, I'll smash your monitor and burn your food. Well, that's it for me, Mr. Pizzo. Just remind me that I beat ya. Bars.
No, he didn't. He included the bars. Oh my goodness, that was. This just exposed how like awful it is because you can actually hear what he's saying. Oh, new subscriber, Rebel Shadow. Thanks, Rebel Shadow. All right, this is the Naruto version. I don't know what Naruto sounds like. Completely forgot he actually has a voice, so this should be interesting.
I see you playing Minecraft. You should build a better face. Are you depressed or did you just get disgraced? You look like you just came out of the hospital trying to fix your Down syndrome. Minecraft, but I have Enderman powers, but in real life, I'm a dumbass. Your channel is poor fucking mince. Delete your channel and jump off a bridge. Selling my thumbnail face. Are you dumb? Doesn't matter, I'm doing all of your mom.
I don't know, man. I feel like it just doesn't really work that well, to be honest. But the nice thing is you can hear him a lot better and you can laugh and cringe at the jokes more because you understand what he's actually saying. Oh, goodness. This is sad. But we do have an interesting video here. This one is courtesy of Mr. Pizza here. Mr. Pizza, he put out this video called Why I Retired from Reaction Videos. He's been pivoting his YouTube channel for a bit. He says that his channel is dying and he wants to do some things to improve the state of the channel. And he's been experimenting a little bit, thinks that this could be the solution to his channel's woes. Interested to see his rationale for leaving the reaction videos scene and how he thinks it'll go.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Mr. Pizza, bringing you another commentary / update sort of video. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, you're in the title. I'm going to be talking about why I decided to retire from reaction videos. That's right. If you didn't see one of my latest community posts, I have retired from reaction videos. I have unlisted every single reaction video on this channel that I've ever done. It's gone. Like gone. They're in a playlist, obviously unlisted, so you can still watch them, but they're gone from like the page of my channel completely. And I felt so relieved when I did that. I was happy that I did that because I finally got to say to myself, yes, I can finally put this past behind me. I can finally...
Did you loathe making this type of content so much that you were itching for a chance to remove all the content from your YouTube channel? It's fine. Tastes change for sure, but that must have been horrible to be stuck making this content that you really didn't want to make.
Move on to what I want to move on to. Then you might be saying to yourself, but you haven't explained to us why you retired yet. And here's why. I have numerous reasons why. First and foremost, boring. Let's be honest. Over time, my reactions they got drier and drier, and I was less and less motivated, which...
And I mean, this will happen when you lose passion for making this content, right? Like, it makes sense. Because if you're not interested in what you're reacting to, then you're not going to be able to add as much value to the content. If you're not adding value to the content's just going to be garbage.
Eat with each video to make reactions. I couldn't stand it anymore. And it just got to the point where I wanted to quit YouTube. It's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So instead of quitting, I made the right decision to quit reactions. At first, I tried to slow down the reactions, which helped a little bit, but not really. And then I eventually just said, fuck it, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like other reasons why I inevitably did quit. Let's be honest, the community's terrible, especially the YTP community. I made an entire video talking about why I hated the YTP community and
Yeah, it's just... I don't think... Have I reacted to that video? I can't remember if I've reacted to that video or not, but it's just so toxic. I think just the maturity level of a lot of the members is just like the big thing.
Point I made in that video still stands even to this day, right here, right now. Well, just in general, the reaction community is terrible. It's just filled to the brim with nothing but entitled people who only care about getting their reaction out of you. They don't care about anything else. It destroys you mentally, and it makes you regret becoming a YouTuber in the first place. Well, more like regret being a reaction YouTuber. Now, which leads to another question. Do I regret being a reaction YouTuber? Yes and no. And let me get into that. First and foremost, I regret it in the sense that it completely destroyed me mentally. It got my channel to the point where it is now, but now, since I've retired from it, I don't get shit for views anymore.
And yeah, because, you know, everyone who was there, everyone who, you know, subscribed to your channel initially, subscribed specifically because you're making a certain type of content. And if you stop making that content, they're gonna leave unless they're equally interested in your new form of content.
And that's the cost of, you know, being part of a shitty community. It happens. But I don't really care about the views anymore. It's not that big of a deal. I'd much rather focus on the content itself opposed to the views that I could be getting out of it. But overall, yeah, it definitely destroyed my channel. It really did, because anything that's not a reaction video definitely struggles to get any sort of traction. Now, I also said, no, I don't regret becoming a reactor, and the reason why is because, well, I met amazing people. People like E Productions, Linuxo, DJLL Reacts, etc. I all got to become great friends with over the course of being a reactor. So I made a lot of great friends, and that's amazing. So, and since I've made some amazing friends out of this and everything, I at least can safely say I can retire from this now because I got what I needed out of the community.
Interesting. Oh, here are my peanuts, by the way. But I'm surprised. Like, I didn't know that the main thing you were looking at of YouTube is friends. It's actually kind of interesting. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, it certainly worked, but I've never really thought about it that way.
I managed to get great friends. My channel, unfortunately, grew to a point where I didn't think it was going to reach, which is still sad that it got over 1,000 subscribers for being a shitty reaction channel. So bad.
No. It means people are appreciating the content that you're making. Don't be mad that people are subscribing to you because of the content that you make. It's different than my biggest YouTube video right now. Everyone liked it because they wanted something different out of it and they clicked out as soon as they watched it. I'm not talking about that, but if you have like a video where people actually enjoyed your content and people, either a bunch of people either watched your video, made it go viral, or subscribe to your channel, do not feel bad for making viewers happy with what you made. I can completely understand being like, oh, I don't think this content's good, but hey, people like it. But don't be mad about that. You did good, man, if people like your content.
But it is what it is. I mean, I guess I kind of erased the past, but not really. I don't really know. But here's the thing. Another thing to mention is more reasons why I just didn't like the reaction content in general. Here's the thing. I over time, throughout the days, the weeks, building up to me deciding if I wanted to erase the past, I had to think to myself, is this something I want to do? Do I want to do this? And at the end of the day, it was yes, and, well, more reasons why. I'm not proud of it. Look, I wasn't proud of the reactions anymore. I mean,
that is one thing to keep in mind, though, is that if you don't like the content you're making, then it's going to be so awful trying to make that content regularly, day in and day out, man.
Sure, it's not that my reactions in most of them were horrible or anything. In most cases, my reactions were fairly good. But the problem is the presentation. The presentation was dog shit.
Why you're reviewing your content like you're like Gordon Ramsay or something? Like, the presentation was awful.
I mean, it was so unprofessional. The background was shitty. I didn't look like I was properly dressed or anything. Like, it was so unprofessional. And unfortunately, those were like the most popular videos on the channel. They were all reactions, and we're looking at reactions that go over 10,000 views. And they were so unprofessional, and I could have done so much better with them. But at the time, I didn't give a shit about background or appearance. I didn't care about that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, look at Moist Critical's videos. You love Moist Critical's videos. Does he care about wearing a fancy suit or looking like he's broadcasting out of the Daily Wire headquarters? No, he just props up his camera and does his thing. Same thing with XQC. There are a lot of really good content creators who don't need fancy setups. I understand if, like, the way you spoke while presenting your arguments or doing your reaction or whatever, you felt like you could have done that better. But don't beat yourself up over the visual quality of your videos, especially if, the actual content of your videos is, like, solid. I mean, you should be focusing on the content of your videos rather than, like, how it looks, in my opinion. Like, if my commentary was way worse than it is now, I don't think the thing I should be focusing on is getting cooler lights or a nicer microphone. I should be focusing on how I actually broadcast first and foremost.
Slipped off the webcam, pulled out the microphone, reacted, uploaded, no thumbnail, no nothing, and that was my goal for it. And it was the stupidest decision I could have ever made. And it's not like I was even a newbie at this point. At this point in time, I had been doing YouTube for like 2 years up to that point. So it's not like I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It's that I didn't care, and it made it so unprofessional in the beginning. It was so bad. It's awful. But at least now it's gone. They can't hit the algorithm anymore, meaning I'm not going to get any more entitled subscribers out of those videos anymore. At least now I can say...
Wait, your subscribers were entitled? I did not know about this.
I retired from being a reactor. That means any subscribers I get from here on out, I get to say it was because of my own original work. That's what got me to subscribers, not some video where I reacted to a popular YTP and it just exploded.
Wait, so first of all, that's what I do literally on my YouTube Not Newbie Clips channel. But also, so are you going to be moving like more towards like commentary, like Ludwin clips or not Ludwin clips, Mogul Mail or Pyro Live or Penguin Zero or I don't know, something more of that vein than like an actual React channel?
No. Now
I guess we have the answer then.
The subscribers will come from my own hard work, my own great content, which just brings me to another thing. Not being a reactor just means I get to make better content. Why would you want to watch someone watch YouTube? Why do that when you can...
I hope I don't lose any subscribers over that comment there. Please, there really is a reason to watch people watch YouTube on YouTube. It's very valuable, incredibly reasonable. It makes a ton of sense. Stick around, please.
You can watch a highly funny, entertaining gaming video. Those are fun to make. I like making gaming videos, especially when it comes to the games like Hitman. I love making videos on that, and it's great. Overall, I just get to be way more proud with the content that I post now. I love having the freedom now of making my own original works. I like not needing...
You know what would be fun content to watch from you? Cooking videos. I would watch those for sure. And it'd make for great React content too, for me to react to. I feel like that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
To worry about, like, oh, I need to make a reaction, I need to force him out and be this big thing in Reaction Central or whatever. No, just no.
What's Reaction Central?
Having your own original work just feels better. And it's much more satisfying as well. You see a video do well that you
don't understand. The fact that you can't cook makes it better, dude. You should totally do cooking videos.
You made yourself. You didn't react to anything. You just made something of your own original content. And it did well. Like, that's the thing. You want that, and then you feel like you have a sense of accomplishment then. Like, hey, I got to accomplish a milestone of my own hard work. That's what you want. Because, I mean, you might be like, oh, but I reacted, I'm still proud of it, but are you really? Are you really proud of that reaction?
Maybe you are if you did transformative content, right? Because just because you're doing the reaction content doesn't mean that it's like bad or not good. If you're adding commentary to the video, for example, then it's like there's nothing wrong with that. You can still be proud of React content, but it just has to be good.
Posted, or are you only proud that it got a lot of views? Be honest with yourself.
There's also another thing to consider too, because a lot of people are out here just for the numbers. They're just out here for the numbers, and they're not in here for the quality of the content or the process of creating YouTube videos or building up a community. They're here just for the numbers.
Be honest, you're proud it got the views, but you're not proud of the video itself. You're not proud to be a reactor. You want to do your own thing, and you would rather that, but the reaction got the views, so you stick around for it. Which brings me to more points. I'm not chasing views anymore. At least I don't think so anyway. Or maybe I am,
This is a good move.
but not in the sense that I used to. Maybe I am still trying to reach a better audience, which I will admit to, but I'm doing it, again, in my own original way. I'm no longer relying off shitty reaction videos to do it for me. Now, I'm making my own great content that if it hits the algorithm, phenomenal. That's amazing. That's what I want. And it might lead to the question like, yeah, but you said you don't care about the views anymore. And you're right, I don't care about the views. But here's the thing, just because you don't really care about how many views the video is gonna get after you post it, doesn't mean you can't try to target the algorithm. You can try to title and descriptions and make a good thumbnail and stuff to try to hit the algorithm without caring about how many views it gets at the end of the day. You can still do that, which is what I am doing. I go into it, I upload it, don't really worry about how many views it's gonna get, but at the same time, you know, maybe trying to tweak the algorithm a little bit, maybe trying to throw me up there, get me a little more known, but if it doesn't happen, it's no big deal. It's not like I'm expecting much out of the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you still have to rely off your current audience when you switch content to get the views, which then, when the video gets more data on it, when it gets enough, YouTube is just like, hey, that's a good video, we'll send that to the algorithm.
That's true, and I'm kind of interested, Mr. Pizza, have you seen people in your community kind of roll with and enjoy your newer types of content? Because that can be a very powerful thing if you're switching to a type of content that more people are interested in, but your old audience is into that content as well. Like, that's what Logan Paul did with Impulsive. More people listen to Impulsive than ever watched his his vlogs, I think, because it's a podcast. It appeals to more people.
We'll see how many people like that, but you need to get the overall views from your audience to give it enough data for the video to then hit the algorithm, which is what a lot of people miss, I think. Overall, I just feel so much more happier that I'm no longer a reactor. It makes me happy. I get to make, I feel so much more motivated to make content again, and it's just overall been a fun time, fun experience, and I know it might sound a bit cliche, but in my opinion, I think we're posting out some of the best content we've ever posted since retiring from reactions.
Hey, yo, shout out to Daniel Lord, bro. Shout out to Daniel Lord for that editing skills.
Overall, yeah. So what does this mean for the second channel? The second channel, can piss off. I don't care about it anymore. I really don't. The second channel is literally just a backup channel, and that's what it should be. It shouldn't be anything more than a backup channel. I know there's a reaction on it, and I don't even plan to, like, post anymore to that channel unless I'm absolutely forced to. And I mainly because it got established as this reaction channel. Not fun.
And
might delete the reaction
no
off it, might not. Don't know. But overall, I've been Mr. Pizza. Thank you all so much for watching.
You have been. Now the question is, will you continue to be Mr. Pizza?
You know, to the people that are understanding, thank you for sticking around to the channel even though we changed. To the people that are crying in the corner that I'm done with reactions, there's a thing called the unsubscribe button. Use it, okay? If you're one of those people who are gonna be butthurt.
Did you actually threaten your not threaten, but did you actually like tell your viewers to unsubscribe
about this decision? The unsubscribe button is there. You can click it. I don't care. You can unsubscribe, move on to somebody else. Go watch Driver Joe because he's established for that kind of stuff. So yeah, that being said, I've been Mr. Pizza. Remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Good video. But I do wonder if you're gonna lose subscribers because you literally said for people who don't like your new form of content, go ahead and unsubscribe. That's a bold statement to make. But in any case, you know, this is cool, and I'm excited for your new direction. Like you have like a new editor, got a new type of, you know, even like a format of what you want to do. You want to do more gaming stuff, all types of things. So this is cool, man. This is cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where your channel goes. Where your channel goes from here. All right. So we got the last thing of the evening. And I'm quite sure there's going to be so much to this. Now, initially, here let's take this from the beginning, okay? Let's take this story from the top. If you're not aware, I do Minecraft streams. And in these Minecraft streams, we have this SMP of the people that I used to go to college with. They're all college friends for the most part, or friends of the college friends. But in any case, we made an SMP. It's called the Card3 SMP. It's a blast. It's fun. It's a great big old Minecraft server. Christian Minecraft server, to be exact. And sometimes unexpected things happen in the Discord, such as Aragon the Bold sending a message saying, I can be black, and it's showing up on my smartwatch. So how did we get here? Well, let's trace the steps. It all started, it looks like, here. So some people were hopping onto the server, taking a look at some things. And then some people were working on a road, turning it from wood to cobble, I believe, is what they were doing. Let's see here. And then the road was completed by Sorta Goodish. Well done. But then the following day, this came out, and I know we've got this very distracting GIF right here. But then this announcement came out from the Arkenstone. Announcement by royal decree, the supreme arbiter, Collinslayer, having observed and caused the great devaluation of emerald currency, ender pearls, and other commodities will, from this day forth, only accept payments of gold, diamond, or equivalents for arbiter commodities. No more emerald payments will be accepted. Also, the arbiters have agreed to invite Jacob Bates, who is Snake Boy. People like to just copy his name into their bios for some reason, to return as the co-supreme arbiter to aid in re-guiding the Alliance back to the ways of the Covenant. We also discourage all from engaging with the equestrian conglomerate on horse eugenics, which I completely understand. I've never been a fan of that. But we will not acknowledge that Terraria is not heresy, but a source of content to ensure the bloodiness of the equestrians is not wasted on perfectly good donkeys and horses. So this is kind of interesting. We're seeing a huge shift in international commerce because I tend to rely on emeralds to buy, sell, and to earn money as well. And yet here we've got Collinslayer, the supreme arbiter, saying no more of these monies. You must use gold or diamonds, which I don't really have a lot of. So it'll be interesting to see how this affects my ability to trade on the server. But then after Thorben says na boo boo, posting this GIF here, Sorta Goodish says, also a thing I forgot to mention, in less happy news, breeding to super. Okay, yeah, so this is all stuff about the horses or whatever, so not entirely relevant. Scrolling down here. Scrolling. We have a part here where Sorta Goodish is showing a clip from the steak war. I'm not sure why this is a moment that I killed Collinslayer. I think it was an accident. And then Sorta Goodish killed Callan Slater. I'm not sure where why he shared those. Shared that footage. Anyways, you got nice little like beehive thing going on here. So we got some stuff, popping off. But then we have this bombshell. We've got this massive bombshell. The Arkenstone goes ahead and posts this. So there are 3 items I wish to address. 1, you are technically violating store policy in that you are entering a restricted area for only arbiters to enter. For this violation, you owe me 5 gold ingots as forfeit for trespassing. And there are signs posted that remind you of this rule. Number 2 says, per the decree of the Arbiter of Commerce, me, who values the contributions of the Arbiter of Music, Jacob Bates, who is actually Snake Boy, each Creeper music disc is worth 2 gold blocks apiece. And yes, that price will be updated in the store. 3, I can sell you the discs in the bottom row if you want, but it will have to wait till I'm on, since it is a precious commodity technically. I mean, some of those seem fair. I don't know why he violated the airspace of the arbiters, but 5 gold ingots seems fair, better than, threatening to kill him or something like that. But Sword of Goodish fires back, saying, you have an unrestricted portal in the Nether labeled Brute Bazaar that leads right into this room. I am literally less than 5 blocks from the portal. And then he literally says this, I am no longer interested in the trade. I had been willing to go over a stack of bars, but your ruling is an insult. This will go into the book of grudges. Oh, goodness. Then the Arkenstone says, it's no longer an unrestricted portal. I'll make sure to install signage indicating that. Then says, sort of going to hang on a second. The Arbiter of Music has informed me of an alternate price if you are willing to accept. We're willing to part with them for 2 diamonds per disc. Also, sort of going to you still owe me the 5 gold fee for trespassing in the restricted section. Sort of good says, you are liable for putting up your own signs, which honestly a based take there. Now, it could be that the Arkenstone just meant to put the sign. Actually, no, he says it right here. Turns out that he meant to put the sign in a certain direction, but he forgot to do so. And then it says here, something that says, oh, by the way, I solved your restriction problem here. Destroying another portal and saying, how's that for restricted? And then here, the Arkenstone butts in and says, hey, bud, that's a violation of realm rules. You just agree with the portal of the Arbiter Alliance. Please restore the portal and its sinking, and I will waive the fee for this one time. Otherwise, I'll have to file a grievance against the Ancient Alliance for property damage before the council. Which, by the way, honestly, sort of gonna says fine, honestly. Sort of Goodish used griefing to save some money. Because he would have had to pay 4 gold ingots otherwise. But no. Because he griefed the portal, he ended up getting out of that. I mean, I don't think that's what he was trying to do, but hey, it worked. And there was peace in the realm. From hither to thither. And forevermore. No. Yeah, Torment says that's quite a lot going on here. This realm has become an RPG. It literally has. Let's see here. Then, then Aragorn responds to saying he'll go into the Book of Grudges by saying, but forgiveness. The Arkenstone then responds to Aragorn's inquisition as to whether or not a tribunal is needed by saying, I wouldn't think so. To be fair, I did not specify on the nether side of the shop that the portal was off limits to the arbiters. If it's a major issue, I can try to remodel the shop in such a way that the portal can be used as an entrance, but I cannot guarantee anything yet. This is a good response, taking responsibility for the fact that he did not put the sign up in the way that he should have. Then So what it says, looking back at this, why would you charge the whole alliance rather than just Icetopia? The Equestrian Conglomerate had nothing to do with this. This is fair. This what it says. I think if you were taking the Book of Grudges seriously, you have seriously misunderstood it. Also very true. Then we have the very controversial post, which led to the whole I can be black message. It was truncated. The full message was, I can be black and white sometimes. If it was an actual grudge, I'd be more concerned. But I was just like, I'll throw this reminder out there. So I just realized I thought it'd be funny, but I didn't fully know if you were joking or not. On its own, still hilarious. True. Then let's see here. Then we got Nubly saying that, which is me, saying I have no idea what's happening at all, but I just randomly looked down my smartwatch to see this. I can be black by Aircon. All right. Let's see here. So we've got this going on. Not 100% sure exactly what's going on here, but then sort of good says, I'm holding his discs hostage. Sounds interesting. The Arkenstone says exactly what is this contraption of yours. If you are thinking of creating your own music discs and undercutting us, then you are truly despicable. That's the power-hungry kingdom of the mouse. This one gonna says, all I want is permanently, not as a loan or rental, Pig Step in every copy of it that comes into your possession for the next 7-ish months. For that time, I will not sell any discs without your permission. This is an interesting deal. If you decline this deal, there'll be free music for all. Yo, this is interesting. He's trying to. It sounds like he's almost trying to blackmail him into some sort of trade deal. Kind of interesting. And then the Arkenstone says, no. And I don't blame them, right? Like, you would want to have some sort of autonomy for doing trades. And, Pig Step, I think, is a rare disc. I don't think that any deal like that would entirely be fair. That's just my opinion, at least as of now. Then the Arkenstone says, if you want to flood the world with your music, then go ahead, be my guest. But if you flood the market with music, then perhaps the Arbiters would be cut off from Icetopia, from accessing the gunpowder farm, or from the Arbiter village. Not that you need our village anyways. Then sort of goodish fires back with gunpowder, saying, I just built a gunpowder farm, and shows the proof. Then Thorben says, kind of an empty threat considering that he has both the things that you're threatening to take away. Then the Arkenstone says, I expected as much as from an ally of the Ice King. And Sword of Good says, the Arkenstone, you have time to reconsider. And Thorben says, what? I'm just pointing out that you need a better threat. At least I have my cakes. The Arbiter says, the Arkenstone says, the Arbiter will never, in any circumstance, forfeit the Pig Step disc. So Sword of Good says, leave him be. His monopolistic greed has been thrashed by generosity. It must be hard for him to bear. And then Thorben says, we just simulated the economy. Capitalism. Which, by the way, I really want to know where this is from. This is hilarious. He then sort of good says, I offered a trade and it was declined. Arkenstone said, because it was a bad trade. We might need to melt some of that ice of yours to find your bargaining skills again, because they might even thought out before they were useful again. Yo, this is becoming straight up roasting time on the server. Then he says, and yet I have lost nothing and you have lost much. You can still take the deal. You have until next Saturday. By the way, the disc farm is off limits to non-Icetopians. The Arkenstone, you're right. I do need a better that. Sort of goodness. If you continue with your plans, then I can no longer permit your glitch horses in Sanghelios. They have to pass around the walls instead. Then sort of goodness claps back again, saying, cool, I did that anyway, because your roads didn't work well for them. This is hilarious because all of the things that the Arkenstone is trying to threaten Sword of Goodish with, Sword of Goodish already has a response for them. This is literally like Ukraine trying to threaten Russia over here. Like, you're going after someone who has everything. Well, exactly like Thorbin said, he has everything that you're threatening to take away. It doesn't make any sense. But then the Arkenstone said, to be fair, my road's not designed for horses who are the product of game manipulation. I may not agree much with the horse perfectionist tendencies of Thorbin, but I do agree with him when he calls them corrupted horses. He says, in my opinion, the horse is no good if he's too fast for chunks to load. That's a really good point, actually. Which the weight for that negates the usefulness of their speed. I'm fine with the steeds I purchased from the equestrians as they are perfect. Makes sense. Practically, they are perfect, says Sword of Goodish, and that is something I've affirmed this whole time. Then Thorbin says, technically, I call them cracked horses. The Arkenstone says, also, when you have Elytra in another highway, who needs super horses anyways? Sounds like a waste of horse to me. And then Thorbin says, he doesn't even say anything, he just responds with this. Oh my goodness. Then Thorbin says, come at me, bro. Hey, yo, your mother in the chat, what is up? Not sure if you're familiar with what's going on here. This is the logs of a Minecraft SMP that I'm a part of. I was really busy with homework last week, but then a lot of drama popped up and I didn't have time to read the chat. So I'm literally reading the messages on stream so I can kind of catch up on what's happening along with the along with chat and along with viewers. So thanks for suffering me in this content. I don't know how interesting it is, but I just find some of this kind of hilarious. Now we have more fighting words from the Arkenstone targeted towards Thorbin, undoubtedly, saying Minecraft is greater than Terraria. And then he admits, watching Thorbin's content has piqued my interest slightly more. Which is kind of funny. Then Thorbin says, must I repeat? You think Terraria is better than Minecraft? Yes. He's wrong, by the way. Minecraft is better than Terraria. It truly is. What is this? This is literally GIF warfare. What is happening? This is funny. This is funny. And then we've got Sword of Goodish responding to the Arkenstone again, saying those are some choice words from someone who, as it currently stands, is about to lose more than he would like for the second time in 2 days because of poor negotiation. When dealing with a person from a weaker position, outright rejection of the only deal offered is a great way to purchase nothing at a tremendous cost. Have you even considered making a counteroffer? I'm here to strike a deal, not to cause problems. I have offered you a 7-month monopoly for, at least, a handful of music discs. And now you have not only turned me down, you are throwing a fit because of the loathsome treat that I might give gifts to my friends. If you speak of negotiation, negotiate. Which is actually a pretty good appeal to come back to the bargaining table because, Sword of Goodish would have actually given the Arkenstone a complete monopoly on the whole realm of music discs. No one else would have been able to sell music discs. So he was actually giving the Arkenstone a good deal, but I completely understand if the Arkenstone did not want to give up Pigstep. Now, to his point, he says if you speak of negotiation, negotiate. If I was the Arkenstone, I would offer some different music discs rather than Pigstep. You gotta arbitrate, you gotta negotiate, you gotta figure out what works for both of you guys. And clearly the Arkenstone did not want to give up Pigstep, and maybe the Arkenstone had some more disposable items. Let's see here. So let's see. Then Aragorn comes out and says, hey guys, be careful. I don't want us to get into a fight over this. Granted, this could all be joking as I'm gullible. Nevertheless, Galatians 5:14 through 16. What is Galatians 5:14 through 16? Hold on. Let me look this up in Bible Gateway. Let me pull this up here. I'm not using the NIV. No. Why does Bible Gateway default to the NIV? Galatians 5:14 through 16. Okay, it is as follows. For the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, okay, fair critique. Beware lest you be consumed by one another. Yo, this is actually a really good point. I don't think it'll happen because you guys are joking, but it's still funny. Let's see here. So scrolling down, let's see. Then Jacob Bates, or not Jacob Bates, Snake Boy, states, I go by many names. Jacob Bates, Obama, Arbiter of Negotiation, and Snake Boy. Man, my voice is starting to get shot because I've been live for over 2 hours. One must protect their true identity. Fair point. Fair point. Let's see. So was there any other drama on the server? Let's see here. Okay. Now, we've got Snake Boy asking the question, what was your proposed deal? And we've got sort of Goodish kind of explaining the deal here. Then Snake Boy responds and says, I must confess that the Arbiters only possess a single copy of the Pigstep music, and it is extremely valuable to us. However, I can also tell it holds quite a lot of value for you as well. I think we can both profit from this. I would be willing to seek out a Pigstep disc for you in exchange for half of the profits gained from selling your discs for only the next 5 months. That's great. That's great. Then he says, I can tell tensions are high between our nations at the moment, but we need not be. We should focus on other threats together, not argue about petty squabbles, of which both of our nations are guilty of. We are the two most powerful nations on the server. Our combined power is unstoppable. And this right here is actually wonderful. I want to vote for this guy for president now. This is awesome. And then someone good response says, I've not yet decided on my full response, but I can say this. Don't seek out another disc yet. Wait for 1.2. Loot doesn't generate until the loot chest is interacted with. So even in general bastions, we might still find those all-important smithing templates once the update comes out. Let's see here. Sorgus asks Thorben, what do you make of Snake Boy? Certainly more agreeable than the Supreme Arbiter, but I fear I might smell flattery in his messages. Can I trust him to be fair and honest in his dealings? And Thorben says, well, no, and yes. He's the one who wanted to take over the server a while ago. I didn't know about that. But we've been having a good time. He's the guy I play the Get Fixed Boy seed in Terraria with, if you've seen those videos. Okay. Let's see, scrolling down here a little bit further. Let's see, is there any more drama to go with? It's funny. So sort of gonna ask Thorben to live stream the gaming session so that he can fact check it, which he admits to right here. Ooh, Arbiter of Diplomacy. Nice. Oh my goodness. Aragorn said, so I watched the stream. Should I reset the realm? Probably on the tribunal. Interesting. Arkansas said, what happened? I got off dinner while they were still raiding the city. What atrocities were committed? What? What happened? What? Everyone said, "Oh, you lost a skeleton horse and a regular horse. What crazy is going on? Attempted assassination of on the equestrian conglomerates. What?" Snape said, "I wouldn't as long as it didn't go to toad level. The House of Single at Thorben, I found one in the wild and he was loyal. The allies always seem to be fixed. Okay, interesting. Assassination. The Archstone says, assassination. Do tell. The Arbiter was very curious to find out why there's trouble. Very curious. Who and why was trying to kill Thorben. And then it says here, this link right here that Sort of Goodish sent in. Okay, hold on. This is the stream right here. Hold on. Wait. Where's what he said? 1:44:21 is probably the actual start of the meeting. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. 1:44:21. This is 4 months ago. I think this is an old thing. Anyways. Your Arbiter of Negotiation, but I doubt anything serious. Okay. Sort of Goodish said, I'm watching the stream now. I guess it's this one, but that's an old stream. I'm watching the stream now. Well, hold on, wait. This is from the 26th. I'll have to go back and watch the VODs on my own time. But Sort of Goodish says, I'm watching the stream now. I understand Stinkboy correctly when I think he said you'd shown him my kingdom already. That's what we're going to said. Also, Jacob Bates, because neither you nor the Supreme Arbiter being willing to give up the Pigstep disc, my only interest in the disc monopoly deal is void. I'm going to start giving my discs away soon, like I said I would. Also, the Ark of Stone, if you did show off my kingdom without me, please don't do that again. I went out of my way to be out of the way. Other stuff I build, I don't care who gives tours of. It's outside of my kingdom for a reason, but Istopia itself is sort of my backyard. Very true, very true. And it makes total sense. I can't blame him for being protective of his own property. Now, Snakeboy says, well, you're welcome to do that. However, you'd be missing out on a Pigstep disc for yourself in profit. Remember, Sort of Goodish, I said I was willing to personally get one for you for not giving away free discs, so we both profit for the next 5 months. This is honestly very surprising that you're thinking of turning this down. Which is kind of true, but I can understand if someone doubts his ability to actually get that Pigstep disc. So, let's see here. Sort of Goodish said, I don't want any bastions to be looted until the update, and once we start, I'm sure I'll get a disc or two of my own. Okay, fair. So now they're okay. Here it is. So Snakeboy says there's only a 5% chance to get one from a chest going to the wiki. So this deal would save you a lot of time. Take the deal equals get picks up now, and monetary gain. Don't take the deal equals waiting and struggling for Pigstep and no monetary gain. We have Elytras. Finding new chunks is always easy. Jacob Bates says, you know what you're going to need for those cosmetic upgrades? Diamonds. That could be the currency we get from the discs. Makes sense. And Sort of Goodish says, oh, you are willing to do Pigstep now. Okay, deal. See you in the server tomorrow. It's pretty cool. So we got some negotiation. Some negotiation went down. That's nice to see that they were able to come to an agreement, an amicable agreement. Then Sort of Goodish says, you said Arkenstone, you still haven't answered my question about visiting Istopia, though. I'm starting to worry you did something in Istopia and now you're dodging the subject. Interesting. And then Sort of Goodish said, oh, also Stinkboy, my apologies, thanks, I forgot to say. I forgot to say thanks. It has been a pleasure negotiating with you, and yes, we will discuss the price tomorrow. And the Arkenstone said, we did visit mostly because Snakeboy has never seen your land before. I wanted to show off your might, ruler of the frozen fortress in the desolate South. And also that I can try out your road for the first time. And then sort of said, okay, nice. It's nice that they were able to kind of make peace with the whole situation. Then Arkansas said, see, now this is why I made you Supreme Arbiter of the Arbiter Alliance. While you are amiable and reasoned, I prefer my diplomacy resolved in the river of Crimson Red. Oh goodness, oh my goodness. All right, and then we just got some more discussion here. Although Thorbid also notes that Snake Boy is equally culpable for the death of the skeleton horse, right? Because he did raid the village, right, and kill the horses. Then Arkansas said, "Fine, you owe me Elytra, and Jacob and Snake Boy owes me a confession that Minecraft is better." Okay, all right. Let's going down here some more. And we're talking about banners here. Talking about banners. Oh, good. Here we go. We've got the official squashing of the beef. Squashing of the beef. The Krabby Patty itself. Here it is. The Arkenstone says, Thorbid, by the decree of the Arbiter at the Table of Souls, you are forgiven of all sins related to the slaying of steeds. And Snake Boy, you will be given 1 notch apple as thanks for all the Arbiter services you have rendered in the building the wealth of the Alliance. That's rather nice. That's rather nice. And the Arkenstone says, I have a very special task you'll find amazing to perform at St. Helios. Nice. So people are actually, they're getting together, they're making plans and stuff, doing other things. It looks like that's all there is of the drama. Right? I don't think there's any further drama here. So, I mean, that's nice. I mean, that's a lot. It's kind of a lot going on there. Kind of sparked by griefing, miscommunication due to poor signage systems. But at the end of the day, people were able to get together and, after killing some horses, figure stuff out and, have peace once again, which is what this is all about, right? I am a fan of having drama on the server as long as it's not taken too seriously. And it seems like that's exactly how they handled it. So hopefully we can have more things like this, but maybe a little bit less killing of horses, perhaps. Because these storylines are always interesting to follow on the server. So, but anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's a long, not super long, but longer stream tonight. Actually, no, it's long. I'm sitting here talking and flapping my gums for like 2.5 hours. It was time for me to go to bed. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I know the first leg of the stream probably wasn't too enjoyable, but hey, I think certain things certainly need to be said to counter this whole culture of violence that we're harboring. I don't think the culture of violence is with guns. It's with legitimizing violence against each other. We really need to stop doing that. We need to just call for unity and not polarization, not demonization of each other, or disagreeing or having different beliefs than each other. I think that there is a way forward where we can still have guns and we can not have so many mass shootings, whether that's by convincing people to maybe chill out and not go so aggro, not be so violent because of their misgivings or disagreements. But at the same time, I personally would be a fan of having more guards. But again, we don't even know what would have prevented this most recent shooting. So it's a little bit easy. It's a little bit early to talk about strategies of how to prevent shootings. I think for now, we need to focus on praying for the survivors. Survivors including families of those who were killed, by the way. They're survivors too. And yeah, props to the police department too. Police department was fire. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Peace out.